Have you ever sat in an exam hall staring at that paper and just wondered, where did this thing actually come from? Well, it's a journey that is way more complex and, honestly, more fascinating than you probably think. So today, we're going to pull back the curtain and show you exactly how a Cambridge exam paper is born.
Ah, those words. We all know them. They can bring on this crazy mix of nerves and adrenaline, right? But that single piece of paper you're about to flip over, well, it's the final product of an absolutely incredible journey. And that journey didn't start this morning or last week or even last month.
That's right. 2 years. The life of your exam paper begins a full 2 years before it ever lands on your desk. It's a long, super meticulous process designed to make sure of one thing above everything else, that it's fair. So what on earth happens in those 2 years? I mean, what does it really take to create a high-quality exam that fairly tests everything you've worked so hard to learn? It's a story of expertise, precision, and just countless checks and balances. So let's follow that journey from the very first spark of an idea to the final printed page. Okay, so it all starts not with a question, but with people. A whole dedicated team is put together for every single paper, and their combined experience is literally the foundation of the entire process. So this team is this really careful blend of 2 types of specialists. On one hand, you've got experts who have spent years teaching your subject. I mean, they know the content inside and out. But, and this is crucial, they're paired up with experts in assessment, which is the actual science of how you test knowledge fairly and reliably. All right, with the dream team in place, the real work begins, creating the questions. And this isn't just about dreaming up tricky problems. It's a super careful, structured process that follows a very specific blueprint. So how does a question even come to life? Well, it starts by looking at old papers, seeing what worked and making sure students actually understood what was being asked. Next, the team dives deep into the syllabus. And here's something interesting. No single exam can cover everything, but over a few years, the entire syllabus is assessed. From there, they set the right level of challenge, making questions that are demanding but still fair. And finally, they obsess over total clarity, making sure every single question is crystal clear with no room for confusion. And this right here is the secret sauce: balance. A great exam paper needs a whole range of questions. You need some straightforward ones that give every student a chance to show what they know. But you also need those more demanding questions that are really designed to challenge the most able students and let them truly shine. Now, a question is only as good as the way it's marked, right? To make sure every single student's paper is graded consistently, another super important document is created right alongside the exam questions themselves. It's called the mark scheme. Think of it as the official rulebook for every examiner. It spells out exactly what they're looking for to award marks. And here's why this is so important for you. This is the reason your teachers are always saying, show you're working. The scheme is designed to give you points for using the right method, even if you make a little mistake in the final answer. It's what makes sure your paper is graded the same way, whether you're in London or Lisbon. It is the absolute key to fair grading. So once a draft of the paper and its mark scheme is ready, you might think it's done. Nope, not even close. Now it enters what I like to call the review gauntlet, a whole series of intense checks designed to catch any possible issue before it's too late. And this timeline just shows you how intense it is. First, a new expert, called a revisor, looks at everything with a fresh pair of eyes. Then, the entire panel gets together to finalize the paper. After that, it's proofread like you wouldn't believe. And, get this, a subject expert will then actually sit the exam under timed conditions just to be 100% sure every question is clear and that the whole thing can be finished on time. So at the end of the day, all these layers of review are about one simple thing: creating a perfect exam experience. Every question has to be unambiguous, completely free of mistakes, and totally fair in how much time it demands from you. After passing every single one of those quality checks, the paper is finally approved. Phew. But its journey isn't over yet. Now it has to be produced on a massive scale and delivered securely, all the way to you. Just look at that number for a second. Over 3,000 different exam papers are created every single year. That's a massive logistical operation, and it's built on decades and decades of experience. And a huge part of this is making sure exams are accessible. You see, Cambridge doesn't just make one version of the paper. They create all these specially modified formats, like large print and Braille, to make sure that as many students as possible can take their exams fairly. And finally, the papers are sent to a super secure printing center. From there, they're all packaged up and shipped out to thousands of schools and colleges all across the globe, finally completing their 2-year journey and just waiting for exam day. And that brings us right back to where we started. So the next time you hear those words, hopefully you'll have a whole new appreciation for the incredible amount of thought, care, and expertise that went into that paper sitting right in front of you. Now, while Cambridge spends 2 years perfecting the paper, your success on exam day, well, that comes down to your own journey of preparation. Fundoo is a personalized learning platform designed to help with exactly that. It helps students succeed in Cambridge, IB, and other international curriculums with expert mentorship, structured learning support, and really engaging resources.